day 183. I'm already halfway through my first year here on Haida Gwaii, and in a couple of days it'll be officially fall, although it's felt like fall for a couple of weeks now. And yeah, there's rain clouds in the forecast for the next foreseeable future. The change in weather has just underscored the urgency of getting some cladding on the outside of the cabin. Rich and Lisa have left the island for the fall and will be back in the winter. So I don't have access to the cedar shades I started splitting down island until they get back. But I can put perforated roofing felt and building paper up on the walls. I've made a work trade agreement with a fellow down the road, Toby. Him and his wife have just had their second child, and he's very keen to get wood up on his exterior in preparation for the winter storms. And it's just the kind of work that goes that much faster with an extra set of hands. This past week I was lucky to have 2 extra sets as Toby and my last guest Tim, a wildlife guide and writer, helped me put up paper on the south and east elevations of the cabin, just in time for my first 50-knot storm. My current guests, Mark and Mary, had just arrived on island, bringing with them all sorts of goodies, including a new generator for me, a 6-pack of one of my favorite beers, and serious quantities of assorted meats, including Peking duck. So we invited some of the neighbors around for a potluck, and the storm hit. I was relieved that the roof remained attached to the cabin, and only one window leaked that we know of. Mark and Mary aren't like my other guests. They're well acquainted with building, having made their own 10x10 off-grid cabin down in Bamfield on Vancouver Island. And they're also avid food foragers. So the afternoon that they arrived, they immediately put on their rain gear and went out into the forest. Close to the cabin, the areas that I'd been wanting to explore myself but never got around to, including this forest here behind me, and picked some winter chanterelles and hedgehog mushrooms, which ended up in a nice omelet. And we also went to a neighbor's who has a large garden, and helped him harvest some of his potatoes, including Haida potatoes, and he fed us some of his fresh salal berry pie and cream from his goats. But really, I think the most fun we've had so far is last night. We went out for a paddle/hunt. We borrowed a canoe, and I went out on my paddleboard. The tide was against us, and the rain and the wind kicked up, but we managed to get downwind of a couple of deer. And the paddleboard turned out to be a great stealth mobile, a great shorelander, and I got a good clean 100-yard shot. Then the wind died, and we had a nice glassy ride in the dusk back home with a buck in the canoe. It was really one of those moments that made me thankful to be up here. And I'm glad to have them up here to get up my game in the hosting front and get me out exploring. But this week we're headed down to mushroom camp, so I'll let you know how that goes next week. And next week you might notice a slight, or maybe not so slight, difference in tone in the videos. Producer and editor at radX, Kate Abraham, who's been instrumental in putting these videos together to date, is leaving for an island of her own. She's going back to her native England. And well, I'll miss her, and I wish her good luck, but have a great week, and I'll talk to you next Tuesday. Thanks.